Hey guys, let me know what you think by liking and commenting, and it really helps me and this channel out when you subscribe, so please click that button. Thanks a bunch. Today's episode is brought to you by Petsistence First Aid Kits. If you're like me, you love your pet. You take them with you if you can, you certainly care for them a ton at home, but just remember that no matter where you are your pet's first responder. Like it or not, you are your pet's first line of care and perhaps only line of care. They depend on you to make sure that they stay happy and healthy, and the people at Petsistence have made sure to create a product that will help you do just that. With the help of veterinarians, the Petsistence First Aid Kit is a 60-plus piece first aid kit that comes in this handy carrying case. It's a soft carrying case that is meant to be as light as possible. The entire thing fits easily in your car or in any kind of suitcase you're going to use during your travels. The kit contains many bandages and wraps of all sizes for your pet, and it also contains things such as cleaning solution, Q-tips, combs, lancets, and a dog whistle. Here's a list of all the things included with the kit, and hopefully you will find it useful as I have. Remember, Petsistence for the first line of defense for your pet. Hey everyone. Well, today I've got something that's kind of interesting. Normally I say to myself, is my interest in model trains doing the world any good? And now I can say, yes, it is doing a lot of good. There's a tree planted because I bought this locomotive. And I actually went and looked for the tree because I'm thinking, that's pretty neat. This hobby actually helped the world with a tree. So I went and looked, and it is right here at the Austrian-Czech Republic border, and it's near this little town, I don't know, what is this thing called? New Riggers, something like that. Anyway, there it is. There is the tree. And you might be asking to yourself, well, what do I need to do in order to participate in not only this hobby, but in saving the Earth? Well, in order to do that, you are going to have to buy Roco's new Klimajet model, which is basically a rolling advertisement for the Klimaticket, which is a ticket you can purchase to use all public transportation in Austria. Well, most of it, I guess. I'm not quite sure if it's all. But here it is in real life. And it's a quirky looking paint job, but I like quirky. But here it is in model form. In this particular case, I bought the DC sound version. I have two Railjet sets, and they're both in Marklin AC digital, so I figured it'd be good to have them running at the same time, so I bought this one in DC. This one is 61501. There are AC versions, and there is also a version that doesn't have a decoder in it if you want to just run on straight DC, but have the option to put it in later. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time going through the functions of this Taurus, because all the Siemens Tauruses are kind of the same. I have a bunch of them, this and the Vectron. Now this is the 2 voltage one, I guess, so is it 2 voltage? I think so, or it's 1 voltage, I can't remember. Either way, it's meant to be used in Austria pretty much, man, maybe parts of Germany and some surrounding areas, something. I don't know exactly how far these 2 pantograph ones will run versus the 4 pantograph ones, but I know they won't go forever in Europe because they just don't handle all the voltages that are in Europe. But because it's the 2 pantograph version, it'll have the ascending scale startup that everyone likes so much. I certainly do. So that's kind of a bonus. I don't have any ego attached to whether it's the 2 or 4 pantograph version, but I certainly like listening to the ascending tone. Okay, again, fairly standard functions for Taurus. If it's not something you have, you can go watch some of my other Taurus reviews. I'm just not going to go through anymore. What's interesting is F20, however, I'll sound it for you. It's the Meep Meep, the same Meep Meep that's used well, from the cartoon, the Roadrunner, and it's also the one used on the New Mexico Rail Runner. So that's kind of a bizarre, I'm not entirely sure how that really works in real life. Maybe I'll have to go look it up and see where they use the Roadrunner for the train length counter. It's kind of bizarre. Didn't realize they did that, but it's always good to see the Roadrunner represented all over the world. And I don't know if you noticed on the prior page, but there's some errata that they had to stick in there manually. It looks like some poor person had to go in there and cut each one of those printed labels and stick them on there manually for the errata. It must not have been fun. All right, these have kind of a bunch of standard parts bags, which will never get put on Roco makes, the one thing about Roco is they generally seem to have enough details stuck on already, except for the Siemens the Siemens Vectrons. Gosh, you have to put a lot of parts on those, but just don't bother with these. Let's take a look. Again, it's yeah, it's an interesting paint scheme. I'm thinking it's going to elicit a lot of love/hate. Probably no middle ground when it comes to this. I'm not even sure if I love it for what it's worth, but it's just so cool and quirky and different. Pretty much had to have it on my railroad. But I think once it's put all together and it's zooming by, it's actually going to look pretty nifty. I even love that they kind of took, you know, the quiet zone decal and the family zone decal, stuff like that. These things are nice, and I'll probably never ride on this exact train, but I love seeing these little tiny, I guess, elements that they've crafted into these cars. It's just a really nice touch. All right, let's tear through the rest of these cars. The paint scheme is either exactly the same or very close on each one, so there's no point in completely showing them to you, but let's get to the Locomotive, the Taurus. Here it is. Again, it's the one that's not universal, so it'll have the ascending notes. Very good. And it's a Roco, so usually they've got a dude in them, which is nice. It also helps me identify which side is the front, because this is symmetrical. It's painted the same on both sides, so here it is. It's, yeah, it's typical quality. There's a piece missing somewhere. To go find that. Yeah, it's really high quality. I think Roco has the Tauruses down pretty much pat. Here it is. Just have to stick that back in here. I like to find a couple stray parts around. So yeah, again, I'm not going to go through all the sounds. I think somewhere else I've gone through these, but you'll see it in the run through that I'll do in a little bit. All right, just a couple more pieces. It has the dummy plug if for whatever reason you want to plug something else with another electrical connector onto the other side. Here's the parts bag, and actually going to use one of those because on my Tauruses, I just did the part. What's going on with all these parts lying around? My other Tauruses, what I do is I pull off the front coupler. In other words, the coupler I'm not going to use. I don't see, maybe I'll string these together, but I've only got one DC Railjet series, so I'd have to couple together my two AC ones, my two Marklin ones, if I wanted to do something like that anyway. By the way, this is the restaurant car that we're looking at, right? It's a little bit different than the other ones. And we'll take a look at the cab car too. Okay, here it is. If you notice, yes, it is lit, and it's able to go in reverse. This pretty short consist, so it should be able to be pushed at full speed. I'm not too worried about it, but here it is. It's, if you notice, it's just like the photographs with Klimaticket on the front. Should look pretty interesting on a layout, like I said. Especially if you're in the United States like I am, very few people are going to have this probably. Maybe in Europe a little bit more. I don't know if it's a limited series, but it's certainly going to be kind of limited in my home country. All right, so when removing the front coupler, I take off this piece here, and I usually just pop the whole coupler assembly out. If you look on Roco, it's actually set in there with a kingpin, I guess this is, and I just pull the whole thing out because I know I'm not going to couple anything to the front. But even if I will, it's pretty easy for me to go back and get this piece. And what I will need to do is to swap the little, what is it, snowplow or some sort of cattle guard, I don't know, some sort of critter guard or some sort of guard, swap it with the other one that's in this packet. The other one doesn't have that large cutout or that large gap for the coupler and the coupler assembly, so it'll look a little bit more natural in the front. Gotta pull these little pieces off here and transfer them, and then we'll be able to plop it onto the front and it'll look great. Okay, there you have it. Looks really good. There's whatever this guy's name is, Lars or Helmut or something. I don't know, whatever he is. All right. While we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and show you the other, well, one of the other two Railjet style locomotive train sets that I have. And this is one that I got a little bit earlier, but I haven't really had a chance to throw it in, but now I'm going to, and it is the Czech version of Railjet. And I love the colors of the Czech train system. The blue and white looks really good. I'm not going to show every single one of these coming out of the box like I did the other ones. Yeah, you'll see enough of them as they're going by, so I think you'll get the idea. Again, good looking unit. Should be pretty much the same, except this is the, what is that? Is there just like a spring in here? What's that all about? God, I hope that's not important. It looks like it could be important. Goodness, I have no idea why there's some darn spring in there. Weird. All right. You know, I found another spring in there. What's up with these springs? Shouldn't be springs in there. No idea what's going on. All right. Anyway, geez, it's awful. I've opened up the top, but I can't figure out where these might go. So, yuck. Okay. If you're into Tauruses, today is going to be your day. Look at this beautiful Taurus that celebrates 175 years of railroading in Austria. And it is pulling a Weasel branded CityShuttle that is made by Jagerndorfer. These are really nice. Came across these kind of really cheap one time, so I went ahead and bought a bunch of them, and I think it's a great looking concept. There you have it. This wasn't designed to be a comprehensive review. If you're into Tauruses, you pretty much know them. They all sound kind of the same, like a lot of electrics do, I guess, like a lot of diesels do. But this is a particularly special consist, and I hope you like it. I hope you like looking at it if you're not able to pick one up. I know a lot of my audience from looking at the analytics are from the United States, and that probably makes sense where a lot of the stuff I put up is American. But if you are from the United States, hey, it's always nice taking a look at a train from somewhere else, right? Especially passenger trains, since we don't have a bunch here. So what do you think of this color scheme? It's definitely different, right? Does it work for you? Does it not? Is it something that you just like, blah, or are you like me and you just find it kind of interesting anyway, even if it is a little bit out there? Well, let me know. I want to hear from you. Like always, I wish you the best. And if you're a model railroader, happy model railroading. If you're someone who just likes looking at these, hey, best wishes. Take care. I'll see you next time. Talk to you later.